welcome to First and Filoni. This is our week 5 episode. Just about halfway through the season, quarter of the season is done, third of the season is done. So we're gonna go over some questions here, and then we're gonna get right into our game picks. But this is the time, Mr. Cooper. I'll let you go off on me here for my Colorado take, and your boys with the Oregon Ducks beat the brakes off of them right now.
Yeah, I hope he's keeping a receipt on that one, my friend.
I'm sure he is, and I just
I uh, I just I'll get into it later in the show, man. But
yeah
you can't take nothing away from Oregon on that one, man. They came out, they played hard, fast, and they played physical. They found the weak spots in that defensive line.
yeah.
I mean, in the offensive line, and they attacked, man. I mean, to be honest, I honestly don't think Travis Hunter would have been that big of a difference. I mean, that's
No,
one player, so.
the difference was the offense and defensive line. I think they match up skill position with them. It's just Oregon is recruiting so much better on the defensive line. It's not even funny. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about it later. I have some key shout outs for some people, or not shout outs, I guess. I'm gonna take a shit on some people um later in the show, because you know how the media is when they're all on Dion's dick for 5 weeks of the season, and then he has one loss, and then they flip the coin like nobody's, like, snap of a finger, and that's just not right. So okay, so what's new? The first thing we're going to talk about, since we are about a third of the way through, usually we get a good sense on which coaches are on the hot seat. So my question to you: do you have any coaches yet on the hot seat, or any coaches that you thought would have been fired by now or not?
Man, to be honest, yeah, I have quite a few.
Oh,
Um, I don't know about one. I'm kind of curious to see how the rest of the season goes, but they really haven't played nobody. Um, One I definitely have, I think, is Dana Holgorsen at Houston. He's 2-2 right now.
that
The
surprises me.
next one I would, yeah, the next one I would think would be Dave Hernanda from Baylor. He had one
Yeah,
good year, and it's starting to
Miranda.
slowly slip.
He's had more than one good
Uh,
year, but yeah, the last 2 years he's been kind of. I mean, Texas lit him up.
yeah. So another one is Tony Elliott for UVA.
Yeah, I can see that one. I didn't put UVA down, and I wish I would have. I only have one coach, actually, who's on the hot seat right now, and that's Mike Gundy. Um, with the expectations of Oklahoma State 2 years ago of only losing one, potentially missing the college football playoff, beating Notre Dame in a New Year's Six bowl, to just not having a good season, not keeping Spencer Sanders for an extra year when he goes and is a backup at Ole Miss. Like, that they just might be. He's been there for 20 plus years. They might just need a fresh new face. He'll have the benefit of the doubt, but I think next year at this time, if it's the same and they have a really bad season this year, he's gone. But the one person I thought who had been fired here, or I called for his job by this point, was Neil Brown, and they're sneakily 3-1, man. They're actually not bad down there or up there in Morgantown. Um, they're rolling, man. So do you have any thoughts on West Virginia? Because I know both of us thought that he would have been gone by now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's more or less a luck thing or what's going on, but I mean, they are 3-1 and they beat a pretty good, usually a pretty good pit team. So
Yeah.
um,
And then
I
didn't they
think
just
Neil
beat Texas
Brown.
Tech last week?
Yep. So I got a feeling as long as he can make a bowl game this year, I think he's off of it for the rest
Yeah.
of the year, and then he'll have next year to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say he's necessarily off the hot seat, but it's cooled down quite a bit. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, that's the only question I really had. I think next week we're gonna try to get into, like, initial Heisman, revamp of our college football playoff predictions, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and go start with the game of the week from last week. I'll go first on this one because it was a really good game. It was a defensive slugfest, and neither team I don't think lost a step, win or lose. That's the Ohio State Notre Dame game. That was a really really good game. Um, Notre Dame should have won it. They could not finish drives. They had 2 4th and 1s they could not convert, or 3 4th and 1s they could not convert. And then the last 2 plays of the game, they had 10 men on the field when Ohio State passed it for 20 yards and then got the touchdown. You just can't have that. Um, so I have that game here. I thought Notre Dame should have won, but they never went in the greens. I thought Kyle McCord showed out that week, like for the big game. He came down in clutch. Both defenses are scary, but I mean that was my game of the week. It was a really really good game.
Yeah, I had the same one. I actually stayed up late watching that one. Thought Kyle McCord, he showed his grit and his poise.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely think the defense helped him on the last 2 plays with the 2 big throw plays. Um, I mean, Notre Dame had plenty of chances to win it. They missed a field goal. Like I said, I think if the 4th and 1s would have went the other way. But then
Yeah.
again, this kind of goes back to me with Sam Hartman, the choke artist in big games.
Well, I don't know if he choked because the play calling was kind of suspect. The first fourth down that Sam Hartman I thought got, but it showed the ball was behind the line of scrimmage when he went out of bounds. Um, they were in field goal territory. The second one, same thing. They were in field goal territory. So that's 6 points right there that would have won the game. So I don't know. I think, I attribute to maybe
Well,
Sam Hartman being the choke artist, but
I
more
shouldn't
of Marcus
say,
Freeman being young in the coach.
yes, I shouldn't say choke artist, but the bad luck has followed him to Notre Dame.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I thought he played well. I thought both teams played very well. Like I don't like they didn't turn the ball over. I mean, I think there was like 1 or 2 interceptions, but like not really turning the ball over. It was more of just a defensive battle. So, did you have any more games of the week, or was that just really the only one? Kind of a
I
disappointing
had,
weekend.
yeah, I mean, I have like the sneaky game of the week for me. I mean, I had Notre Dame, Ohio State #1. I mean, that was all around just a damn good game.
Yeah,
The other one I had was Oregon State and Washington State.
yeah.
Sneakily,
Both teams played well.
yeah, under the
Cam,
radar.
Cam Ward's
So,
scary good, man. He's not getting the
yeah,
recognition.
he played his ass off last week.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get into the play of the weeks, and kind of a poor transition on my part, but I mean I have Kyle McCord. He got it done in the clutch. He didn't really necessarily look good most of the game, but that last 5 minutes, I mean he did what he needed to do. So I'm giving him player of the week for me. Um, you could have gone Cam Ward. You could have gone a couple places. Bo Nix, I think maybe. Um,
You can stop
somewhere
right
else.
there because I had Cam Ward. I had Cam Ward as mine.
Yeah.
Bo Nix coming in at #2, but Cam Ward, man, was 28 to 34, 404 yards,
Against that
four
defense is
touchdowns. I
pretty
mean,
good.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, man, the way he was poised in the pocket, he had run when he ran when he had to run, and he made threw good balls all game long. I mean, he was on fire. I'm not taking nothing away from Bo Nix, but to me, I think Oregon State's defense is a little bit better
A
than
lot better.
Colorado's.
A lot better.
That's why I stuck with Cam Ward for the player of the week.
Yeah, I'm not upset by that. He showed out. Um, and that goes right into like one of the winners I had was Washington State. They might be in the same spot I think Oregon State was at the beginning of the year, and I don't think Oregon State's still out of it. They played a close game. They have a good defense. DJ's playing really well. They have the best running back I think in the Pac-12. But Washington State is just flying under the radar with a solid quarterback. It's tough to go into Washington State and play. You saw that with Oregon State and then Wisconsin. Um, so I have them as one of the winners. The other two we've already talked about, and I'm not gonna go into it, but Ohio State and Oregon. Um, they just are my winners of the week for this week.
Yeah, I had Oregon and Ohio State as my winners this week. It's hard to take away from what they
Right.
did, uh, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But some losers of this week, I'll give you one of them, and then my second one, I want to go on a little bit of a rant. So I'll let you do your losers after my first one. My first one's Colorado. Um, Hype train kind of cooled down. Not really necessarily a loser, but the expectations skyrocketed after that first win. And I had them in a bowl game to start the season, but I didn't have them beating TCU. Um, I still think they're going to get into a bowl game, but I think it's kind of cooled down for this year and maybe back to reality. I still think that 6 or 7 win season is a success for Colorado. But they're my first loser. I'll let you go ahead and knock out yours because the second one is I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant.
Two of my losers this week were Ole Miss, and once again, I got to go with Florida State.
As a loser,
Yeah, even though they won, dude, they just I don't know what's going on, but for them being the number 4 team in the country, and I'm not taking nothing away against Clemson, but that's two close back-to-back games.
you know.
I mean, two really close back-to-back games. I
Yeah,
know
but
they're
in the end,
wins,
they
but
they did solidify it though in that overtime period. They should have lost because of the kicker, but
I don't know. I know they're good, man, but I just don't know.
I agree. I don't think they're going to win the ACC anymore, but it's not going to be Clemson.
No,
I think Miami and Duke are scary, and the way
yeah.
UNC beat Pitt is scary.
I don't know. I'm not saying they're going to have a hiccup or
Right.
two coming up, but I think their luck's going to run out with these close games at the end.
Yeah. The second loser I have is just sports media in general. So in sports media, we have our guys that either love Dion or hated Dion, right? And the people, I don't want to say hated Dion, the people that kind of trash Dion for what he's doing, rather than recognizing how he's building a program in the new age, they can kick rocks, and they're rightfully so to kind of say, "Told you so, told you so," but they're still not recognizing what Dion's doing. Colorado won 2 games in 2 years. Like, and they've already won 3 games this year. Like, that's still very impressive. And then half the people who was behind Dion flipped and said, "Oh, I told you so. They're not as good as I thought they were. They're going to stink the rest of the season." Like, if you have a take, stick with it. Own it up if you're wrong. I'm wrong. They got smacked in the mouth by Oregon, and I was wrong. But I'm still a fan of Colorado. Now my hype level has gone down quite a bit from them, but I'm still going to be rooting for him every single game, and I love what Dion's doing with it. It's just I cannot stand people that are hypocrites and that just go wherever the wind changes, and it really really bothers me, and it bothers me that such influential people in the media are the main proponents of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, I can nitpick at this as well. You can't take anything away from Dion.
No.
Okay, he was one of the all time great football players. Okay, not only that, but he's turned the team around, like you said, that won 2 games in 2 years.
Right.
He's finally got that stadium and that group in Boulder believing
Yep.
in what he's doing. You can't expect a man to come in there and go 12-0
No.
your first season. Now, for granted, he's doing a lot of things with the transfer portal, which is how my takes on the transfer portal. I think it's
Right.
good and I think it's bad. You got to remember, he handpicked his team. He knows what he's got. He's
He
got a
knows
lot
what
of
he's
pull.
doing.
He knows what he's doing. He's got a lot of 5-star recruits. One bad game against a really damn good Oregon
Right.
team
Oregon's top 5.
should not define Dion in
No.
Colorado. That's what kind of irks my nerves about this. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's the bandwagon train. When you win, kind of like Carolina football and Carolina basketball. Carolina starts sucking it up in football. What do Carolina fans say?
Right.
I'm
In
a
basketball
basketball fan.
season. Right.
Exactly. But one thing with me that I think Dion, and like I say, it's good for the game, and I'm not knocking it, but, you know, tell the kids to cool it off a little bit. Stop showing your Rolex watch.
Yeah.
Stop flashing this. Just shut the hell up and play football.
So
Let you work all that out on the field. I understand. Yeah, it's cool, whatever.
right,
But man, if you could take, let's say, 50% of that attitude and put it onto the field,
right.
I'm telling you, man, they would be unstoppable.
So I I get what you're saying, and I disagree a little bit because one, I think you have to have that confidence. That's how Dion played it. They're all super disciplined, so it's not them being arrogant, but I agree they should tone it down a little bit. But at the same time, are we only seeing it because the spotlight is on them? What do you think those boys down in Miami are doing? What do you think, the boys down at Florida State are doing? The camera's not all up in their face like they are in Colorado. So my question to you, and this is just general curiosity, because I think that it's half spotlight and half of what you're saying is correct. But like, how much do you attribute the camera access and the media access to seeing all that stuff to other teams that might still be doing that but just aren't getting noticed because the cameras aren't there?
No, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from that
No, I'm
team or any
right.
player on that team. So, I mean, I stand corrected a little bit here, but I'm with you with the spotlight stuff. But I'm all good with pregame warm up. You're out there, you're gibbering, you're jabbering, you're
Oh
running
yeah,
your mouth. I'm good with that. I think it's great for the game.
Joey Porter was
But
great
if
at
you
it.
win, oh yeah, if you win, you don't need to flash what you got. To say
Right,
yeah, talk a little bit of smack. But like you said, that I also didn't put in perspective too is the camera time. I mean, I'm not saying that
right.
you know
I think we're both right. I don't think
Georgia's doing it. That's kind of like the turnover chain and all that other stuff,
right.
or the turnover shoulder pass from Georgia. I'm not like I said that doesn't get aired a whole lot because it's defense. They mostly show offensive side of things, which is
Right.
like I said, Colorado has a damn good team, and I stand by that. You give
Yeah,
them one more year and let them figure out the kinks and the wrinkles.
they're in the playoffs next year. Guarantee you.
Well,
I'll
I
say it
wouldn't
right
say
now
that, but
on September 27th, they're in the playoff next year. The 12 team.
I'll take that bet.
No, I think you're right. I think there is a point to it, but at the same time, like I'd rather have a team that's going to be cocky like that, that's super disciplined than not. But
Well, that's what I'm saying too. But
that's just personal choice.
exactly. I want a team as well that's got a little bit of swagger when they're going to that
Right.
field, running
I
your
agree.
mouth before pregame to get you fired up.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 1000%.
But then again, maybe the camera just needs to leave that stuff off because to
Oh,
me,
I
all it
agree.
does is if Dion loses the game, that's all people are focused on. Oh, well, so and so.
Yeah,
You
and
know what I mean?
Dion's been I don't know if you've been watching the press conferences. Dion is handling the press conferences like a pro. Like I can't say how great he's doing as just a professional in general of how he's handling. He gave all credit to Dan Lanning. He didn't care what Dan Lanning said. He's like, he should be saying that. He's a football coach. He's getting his players fired up. I don't care. I'm
Well, it's
taking
not only that,
names
but
and I'm making receipts.
he also gives respect when respect
Oh,
is
for
earned. You
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he's like, I appreciate what he's doing for his team. You have to do that as a good coach. But you best believe I'm gonna remember that for next year, and as he should, as every coach should.
You got to remember that's going to be motivation next year. Bo Nix is not going to be there, and it's going to be in Colorado.
Right. No, but that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm such a big fan of Dion, especially now that he's in the
Well,
spotlight. Like he's just
outside of the football world, Dion is a really good guy.
well, no, and he's and if you watch the Colorado, like I've nerded out and have gone behind scenes on Colorado and stuff like that. He's making sure, like they have a 5-star cornerback who could have helped them last week. He has not seen the field because he's not prepared. He's not ready yet. Like he's not prepared. Like he's not making practices on time. Like he's doing the little things, and Dion's not playing them because of that. And I respect that. Like I don't know. I think he's the new Nick Saban, and I love to see it, man. And imagine Dion at Alabama. I know that won't happen, but like imagine Dion after Nick Saban. I might not like Dion after that. um,
Like I
yes.
said, you can't take nothing away from the man at
No.
all.
And I have a new.
Regardless if they only win only the three that they have, the three games that they have, and only if they only win that, you still
That's
can't take nothing away from them.
no, no, and I have so much more respect for Dan Lanning too, with seeing how he fires up his teams. And now he says we don't do that for clicks, we do it for whatever. That's bullshit because that was a freaking 4K camera right in your face when you said that. Like you knew what you were doing. Just admit to knowing what you were doing, and I'm cool with it. I respect the move. So, um, all right, that's our polishing off Dion's knob this week that we have. For now at least. Let's go ahead and get into the game picks. Same record as last week, weekly wise. Totals. I'm 32 wins, 13 losses. Andrew, you are 31 wins, 14 losses. So we flip-flopped 2 weeks ago. But I mean, we're still close, neck and neck. My locks actually did really well. I'm 24 and 21 now on the locks. This week, looking at the games this week, there's a lot of sneaky games, sneaky good games. This might be a good weekend, but it looks like if you really wanted to, if you only had one time slot to watch football, watch it at noon, because all of the good games seem to be at noon this week. Let's go ahead and start here with our two Friday night games. We'll go Utah at Oregon State, which might be one of the good games. Oregon State's favored by 3 points. It is in Corvallis. Utah's defense is so good. This one was really, really tough for me because I'm a big DJ fan, but I don't know. I don't know if they can get past that defense of Utah. I'm flipping my. Who do you got? Because
Oh yeah, you want to know because you want to keep winning the records. I'm not stupid.
no, okay, I'll go ahead and make my pick. I wrote down Utah initially.
Did you though? Here's the thing.
I
Here's
did.
what I
I can
want you
show
to
you my
remember.
screen right now. I wrote down Utah, and I think
I'll
I'm
show you.
sticking
I'll
with
show
it.
you mine too. Here's the thing. Is Cam Rising back this week?
I don't know, but I don't know. He warmed up, I think, last week, and he was running around on the sideline, but I don't know because if he is, it's Utah for sure.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing too. I'll be honest. I had Oregon State at first, but I'm. This is one of those tricky games to me because
Yeah.
it's in Corvallis and it's a night game.
Well, right, and that's what makes me super hesitant. If it was at Utah, night game, no problem, Utah.
But I just think offensively, Oregon State is the better
Yeah.
matchup offensively.
No, you're probably right. I want to switch my pick, but I'm not going to. I'll have
Go
you down.
for it.
No, I don't
You
know,
know you
man.
want DJ.
I do, but he got.
DJ this, DJ that.
I know. I'll let you know by the end of it. I might switch that back, but I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to switch it just because you picked him there and you made some good points of it being at night at Corvallis. Like I don't know. The next one here we have Louisville at NC State. It is Louisville favored by 3. I'll let you go on this one. I'm not changing my pick. But you go ahead and go first on this one. And
Yeah,
I
you
know
want
who
me
I'm
to go.
picking.
You want me to go on my rant? Is what you want me to do?
Well, okay, I'll go first then. I originally had Louisville at this week, and then I got a text message, your boy's getting honored at the game. And I said, okay, who? Bill Carr, the Chin. And that changes everything. The Chin is in attendance. NC State's going to play lights out defense. NC State will shut out Louisville in honor of the Chin himself, Bill Cowher. And those jerseys are pretty badass.
I'm going to tell you what, buddy. You're pretty badass on that pick because I didn't pick NC State.
Really?
Uh,
You're
and I
going
will tell
Louisville.
you, yeah, because they have a quarterback and they have more than one receiver that the quarterback can rely on. I'm not taking. Trust me, I will be at the game, and it breaks my heart to say this. It's
Yeah.
going to be packed. It's going to be loud. Blackout game, 7 o'clock. think
That's
the
another reason
students
to pick
actually.
NC State. You know, night games, blackouts are.
I know the last time we played Louisville on a blackout, we won. But that's also when we had Ryan Finley, Jalen Samuels, Naeem Hines.
Was that Lamar Jackson?
Yep,
No. Yes.
Bradley Chubb. Yes, it was Bradley Chubb. So I don't know, man. The offense is just still struggling to me. The offensive line just.
I just don't think Louisville's that good. I know they're undefeated, but I just don't think they're that good.
I don't think they have played a defense as good as NC State's. I think that's going to be the thing. But Plummer is a thrower, and we don't have a secondary that is worth a darn, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this out of spite because I hope I'm proved wrong.
You're hoping the
But I
reverse
don't
juju gets on you.
knock on wood.
Yeah.
I got I got Louisville. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a close game, but
Yeah.
I just don't think our offense is going to be able to keep up with their offense.
Well, we're separate on 2 games so far. Let's see if we're separate on the third one. The first one of the first games, noon, will be in Kentucky, Florida at Kentucky. Kentucky is favored by just 1 point. Uh, I like what this is gonna me. I hate what I'm about to say. I like what Billy Napier is actually doing now. That young defensive coordinator has that
You're
defense
going
buzzing.
Devin Leary.
Huh?
You're going with Devin Leary.
No. That
Okay.
defense is buzzing, and Devin Leary is ranked 13 out of 13 quarterbacks in the SEC. He's not done well. They've won, and they've won by double-digit margins on all their games, but they haven't played anybody. If it was at Florida, I'd be more convinced. I think Graham Mertz, who's been one of the most accurate transfer portal quarterbacks in the nation, I think he gets it done. Ricky Pearsall, after that one-handed catch he had against Charlotte last week, I think that was more of a look-ahead game. But they did kick 6 field goals or something, so not worried about the kicker now. I'm picking Florida to win at Kentucky.
Yeah, I hope Florida goes there and chomps a bite out of Devin Leary's ass. I got Florida as well.
He just hasn't played well, and I've seen, being a friend with you and watching NC State games more than the average person I think has. I just know what Devin Leary can do and what he can't do, and if he hasn't figured it out, I don't think he will this season. Which I was really high on him going into the year at Kentucky too. So
I will too.
next game we have USC at Colorado. USC is favored by 21.5 points. USC's defense not as good as Oregon's, not in the slightest, and they almost lost to Arizona State last week. They were in a shootout there. I'm sticking with my boys, man. I'm going Colorado here with the big upset.
Are you really?
Yep. I think Shador Sanders and that offense is better than anybody that Arizona State has, and we'll find out super early if they can handle it. And I think the defense is opportunistic enough. Caleb Williams has not turned the ball over at all yet this year. I think they get 1 or 2 interceptions, and if they if they get 1 or 2, if they win the turnover battle, they'll win the game. I'm sticking with Dion, man. I'm not gonna be after one loss.
This
You'll get
one's a tough one
easy
for me
win.
because
You'll
USC
get an
does
easy
not have
win
a
this week.
defense. But I had USC winning this game.
You're probably right.
I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it. I don't think. I think not having Travis Hunter is going to hurt them bigger in this game than what it did the Oregon game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with USC on this one.
No, you're probably right, and you'll get an easy win on this one. All right, next game here. Might be a sneakily game of the weekend. Texas A&M and Arkansas. Texas A&M is still favored by 6.5. Connor Wegman is out for the season. I checked the line this afternoon. I'll check it again. Max Johnson's time to shine here. Who do you got?
Yeah, Arkansas played really good against LSU last week.
Yep.
They just could not close it out.
Same
I
with
think I'm going to
BYU.
go with Arkansas. Yeah, I'm going to go with Arkansas on this one. It's at home. I think Pittman's looking forward to drinking a cold beer after a good win, so I'm going to pick him.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm picking Texas A&M. I'm sticking with them. I think they're gonna rally behind um Max. What did I say? Max Johnson. I think they're gonna rally behind him. He's a stud of a quarterback. I think this is the type of game that Jimbo typically loses, but who else in the West is any good? I still don't trust KJ Jefferson. He can't finish it in close games. So I think it's close. But I think Texas A&M pulls that off. So far, we've only picked one game together here, sir. We're five games through right now. Next one will go to the ACC. Clemson at Syracuse. Clemson is favored by 6.5. Syracuse is on a roll, man. Undefeated team. I'm going Syracuse. I'm picking the underdog here. I'm going Syracuse because I think Dabo. I don't know how inspired the team's going to be, and it's not because of lack of Dabo, but I think I think a two loss team after a potential ACC championship contender. I think Syracuse has it. Schrader looks really good this year too.
I got Clemson, man. I don't think they're going to lose two in a row.
You're probably right on that one too. I'm picking a lot of underdogs this week, buddy. Um, Next game here, a sneakily tricky game, and I think the over probably will hit on this one. Kansas at Texas at 3:30. Texas is favored by 16.5. They looked super inspired last week versus Baylor. Huge fan of Kansas though. Like Jaden Daniels or Jalen Daniels, whichever I can't remember, JT, whatever his name is at Kansas, but I just don't think Kansas has the defense yet. So I'm going Texas.
Yeah, I got Texas as well. I think Elder explodes. I think Texas keeps rolling.
You think yours? Yours?
Viewers, yeah, I don't know why I said Elder.
I
Wow, that's like
was like, he hasn't been there for a
6
while,
years ago.
buddy.
Yeah, my bad, viewers.
Yeah. Next game here, we're gonna go down to the south. Go down to old Hottie Toddy down there. LSU at Ole Miss. LSU is favored by 2.5. Um, Still not a big fan of LSU. Don't think they're as good as they think they are, so I'm going Ole Miss here. Think Jackson Dart has a rebound game.
I got Ole Miss as well. I think Jackson Dart has a rebound game, and I think Lane Kiffin gets one against Brian Kelly.
Yep. I think so as well. I think just Nick Saban is his kryptonite, and I think if he's worried that if he beats Alabama, he won't get the job. But then again, Lane Kiffin doesn't win the big game, so we'll see. Neither does Brian Kelly because he sucks. Next game here, we have South Carolina at Tennessee. It is at Tennessee. Tennessee is favored by 11.5. Who you got?
This one was another one that was kind of sneaky for me after last year, what Spencer Rattler did.
Right.
Um,
Oh, I forgot about that, to be honest with you.
yeah, they beat. That's when Hooker went down that game.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna stick with Tennessee because it's at home.
Yep.
Neyland's gonna be rocking. It's hard to play in that place, man. I think Tennessee wants revenge from last year.
Yep. I agree. I think Tennessee wins this as well, and I think it's not going to be particularly close. I think they remember last year. Joe Milton looked better last week. Granted, it was against a lesser opponent, but he looked better. And then the final game, Notre Dame at Duke. Notre Dame is favored by
This
six and
was
a half.
the toughest one of the
Duke
whole
is
slate
sneaky
for me.
good, man, but I think Sam Hartman has a rebound game. I have Notre Dame big, and it's nothing against Duke. I love Duke.
Uh, I uh, I just don't think Duke's gonna be able to stop those three-headed monsters of running backs, man. I really don't. I think
Yeah,
Notre Dame's got a few more weapons on the outside, and their defense is a little bit more solid than Duke's. I got. I think the first half is going to be close, but I got Notre Dame winning this one as a rebound for Sam Hartman.
Yeah, I do too. And I don't think Notre Dame's out of the college football playoff yet. And I think this will solidify that. Because they got a couple tough games coming up. They got USC, they got Clemson, and they got Duke. And only one of them's at home. So they got to win these games. Okay, so I'm gonna list off some locks of the week. You tell me where you disagree, and we can have a little conversation. I got USC at Colorado. I have Colorado plus 21.5. I think they at least cover. I picked them to win outright, but at least to cover the 21.5. West Virginia at TCU. TCU is favored by 12.5. I have West Virginia plus 12.5. I think they cover as well. They're a scrappy bunch. And I just don't like TCU, man. They're not as good as last year, and their ball luck isn't falling their way. Bama at Mississippi State. And Bama's favored by 14.5. I say Bama minus 14.5. I think they win by 3+ touchdowns. I don't think Mississippi State's that good this year. They're switching to odd types of offenses, new coach. Rest in peace, Mike Leach. If you were there, I would pick Mike Leach and Mississippi State, but you're not. Next game, LSU at Ole Miss. Ole Miss plus 2.5. I mean, if I'm picking them out right, give me the points just to save face. Louisville at NC State. I'm gonna go with the under 55.5 points. I think NC State's defense is gonna shut them down. And then I just don't trust Brendan Armstrong at quarterback to score points. So I think it's gonna be a low scoring, close defensive game. Or Utah at Oregon State under 44.5. I think both defenses are gonna shut down both offenses. I don't see that one being a high scoring game either. I mean, Utah held UCLA to 7 points last week. So, and I think UCLA's offense might be a little better than Oregon State's. Next one, Iowa State at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's favored by 20 points. I think Iowa State keeps it close. I think Oklahoma State is a bunch of fugays, and this I don't like Iowa State, but I think they keep it within 20. Washington at Arizona. Washington's favored by 18.5. I think they win by 3 touchdowns or more. Michael Penix is unstoppable. Washington still, for me, is one of the most complete teams in the Pac-12 and in the nation. Penn State at Northwestern. Penn State's favored by 27 points. I'm going to take Penn State and the points. So I think they beat them by at least 28 points. Penn State's just rolling. Guess how many offensive yards Iowa, I know it's Iowa, but guess how many offensive yards Iowa had last week?
160
73.
total yards.
Yes. So I think Penn State's better than a lot of people are giving them credit for. And then the final game, South Alabama at JMU. JMU is favored by 3 points. I think they win by more than 3. So those are my 10 locks of the week. I got a little bold and brazen, just like with my picks here. And I'm going to stick with Utah over Oregon State. I don't like that. I'm going to be cheering for Oregon State. I don't know why I did that, but
Why
Utah's
don't you pick
defense
Oregon
is good.
State?
Because I don't.
You know you want to just pick them.
All right, I'm gonna go
I'm
Oregon
telling you,
State.
it's in Corvallis, man. It's gonna be hard to play against them there.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'll switch it then.
You sure you don't want to switch that Louisville pick too?
No, I'm confident
Why?
in that one.
Oh, are we?
Because somehow NC State is losing. Like, don't take this offense. They're losing games, but they're still coming out with a win.
Yeah, now you're really starting to sound like Dave Doran.
But they are though. Like they're losing games. Like they should have lost to UVA. They probably should have lost to UConn. But they're coming out with the wins. Like I love the defense. I love Peyton Wilson. Like I love that. I like the kid from Naples,
Dude,
Raphael.
tell me if Peyton Wilson's not a baller.
Yeah, he is. He's a stud. I like Casey Concepcion. Like I like the offensive weapons that they have. Like I don't know. Like I have a gut feeling, man. And I think Dave Doran is
Let me
going to
get you a
go into the
jersey
press
right now.
conference and be like, "Oh, look, I told you so. I told you so." So
I hope you're right.
I, I hope I'm right too, because if not, you're going to be up big on me this week because I picked Colorado at USC and Syracuse
Well,
at
do me a favor.
Clemson.
Do me a little favor. Times will going to be a little tougher this game, so then me some money so I can get an old tuppy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead into the next little section. This one's been kind of fun, man, and I haven't been keeping track of it, but I think I might start by the um kind of towards the end of this year here. The upset of the week. So this is where a team is more than 7 points or try to be at least more than 7 point underdogs, kind of like the super dog picks for game day that we do. And see who might be on upset alert this week. I actually have 3 of them. But I'll let you go first. Who do you have for your upsets of the week?
So I've got Vandy upsetting Mizzou.
Really? Mizzou's
Yeah,
good, dude.
I think I know, but I got a feeling Eli. They're going to blow it. I think it's this week.
Is that the only one you got?
I have this is an upset. I'm not changing my pick, but I have Kansas upsetting Texas.
Yeah, I almost put that one down. I think that one's fair because Kansas's offense is really, really good. And as long as Daniel stays healthy, if their defense gets better, they're going to be good.
And my last one was Syracuse upsetting Clemson.
Well, yeah, I mean, that one's going to happen. So,
Oh yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, no, those are all good ones. And I think all of them, you'll have to convince me of the Vandy over Mizzou one because Mizzou's been playing really good. And that Burton kid, I don't know if anybody in the nation can cover him with how fast he is. Is it at Vandy or is it at Mizzou? Do you know?
At Vandy, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I can give you that then.
I think.
Yeah. I have Iowa State upsetting Oklahoma. Like I said, I just don't trust Oklahoma. I don't think they're as good as they think they are. And I don't think Dylan Gabriel's better than their backup quarterback. I think their backup quarterback's better. Then West Virginia at TCU. Like I said, I think West Virginia can actually win this game, like truly, truly win this game.
Yeah,
The
I
first
forgot about that one. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
the first one to Iowa State, I don't think Iowa State can win, but I think it's going to scare Oklahoma enough and expose them. West Virginia, I think, can beat TCU. They're 12.5 point dogs. And then South Carolina at Tennessee. I think South Carolina very easily, depending on which Spencer Rattler can play and which Joe Milton shows up. Like, which one of the two are you going to get? And Spencer Rattler hasn't been playing bad this year. His team hasn't been good. Um, but like which one, you know, which one's gonna show up for that. So and then my potential player of the weeks, I have 2 of them as well. So I'll go ahead and knock mine out here. First one I have is Jackson Dart. I think he has to have a good game because if he doesn't, we're gonna see Spencer Sanders in the second half. And I just don't think LSU's defense, like, where's Maxie Smith at? Like he LSU's defensive end, who's supposed to be the greatest defensive player since Will Anderson last year. Like he just hasn't shown up. And then the second one is Graham Mertz. Like I said, he's sneakily been good. He's like in the 70s for completion percentage. He's thrown the ball all over the place with kind of crappy receivers, crappy offensive line, and crappy coach with Billy Napier. And I think he's better than Devin Leary. So like I always pick quarterbacks over teams if I'm not sure on the teams. And I think Graham Mertz is a little bit better than Devin Leary at this point in time. Ask me that 2 years ago, I would pick Devin Leary.
So I had the Graham Mertz from Florida. That was definitely number one. And if this game does become an upset, I got the quarterback from Duke,
Leonard.
Riley Leonard. Yeah, but
Hey,
they
I'm
have
not
to
upset by that
upset.
because that's so true. He's a gamer. He's a gamer.
Yeah, but they hadn't. Yep. I think it's Rylan Leonard. I know his last name is Leonard.
I think it is Riley Leonard. He's a gamer, but I mean SMA didn't have a bad game per se, but I think they give it to him a lot more. And did you see how on Pat McAfee show how big he is wearing that basketball jersey?
Dude, he's huge.
Dude, his arms are the size of my
He's like
leg.
250. I think he's like 240, 250.
He's a monster. Please, Steelers draft him. We need a big running back. Okay, well, that's the show for us this week. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. I think I'm gonna start putting this out. Well, no, it'll still come out Thursday mornings. It's something maybe to think about. It might come out a little bit later in the day on Thursday. From here on out, because we did get good feedback with that last week. But thank you guys for listening. Continue to share. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Thank you to all the new people who follow us on social media. Continue to share. Be a friend, tell a friend if you like us. If not, how you doing? Keep it moving. Move on to the next one. So thank you again from Donovan and Andrew here. We'll see you next week.